Greetings to everyone tuning in. I am Mohammed Khalil, an Accessibility Quality Engineering Senior Analyst at Accenture. In a world where digital spaces are becoming more prevalent, we must ensure they are accessible to all. Accessibility isn't just a mindset or a choice, it's a daily lived experience that determines whether or not someone can use a service or participate in online activities. Today, we're going to talk about a tool that can help make online spaces more accessible: the Accessibility Checker. This tool, available in several Microsoft 365 applications, is designed to identify potential accessibility issues and provide suggestions on how to resolve them. However, it's not infallible. There are some issues that it may not catch, which is why it's essential to review your work visually as well. With the right knowledge, we can make our digital spaces more inclusive. Let's dive into the rules of the Accessibility Checker. The Accessibility Checker is a free tool available in many Microsoft 365 applications. It's like a silent guide, helping you ensure that your content is accessible to all, regardless of any disability they may have. Now, you may ask, what exactly is this Accessibility Checker and why is it so important? Well, let's dive right in. The Accessibility Checker is a tool that scans your files in Word, Excel, Outlook, OneNote, PowerPoint, and even Visio on Windows. It's also available on Office for the web and Mac. As the Accessibility Checker combs through your document, it identifies potential accessibility issues. These issues might create barriers for someone with a disability, hindering their ability to fully engage with your content. The beauty of the Accessibility Checker lies in its ability not only to detect these issues, but to explain why each might be a problem. It also offers solutions, suggesting ways to resolve each issue and make your content more inclusive. However, the Accessibility Checker, as powerful and helpful as it is, has its limitations. It can identify most types of accessibility issues, but not all. That's where you come in. It's crucial to manually review your work, with an eye for accessibility, to catch any issues that the Accessibility Checker might have missed. Remember, accessibility is not just about ticking a box. It's about creating an inclusive digital environment where everyone has equal access to information. The Accessibility Checker uses a set of rules to verify your file. It classifies each issue it finds based on severity into errors, warnings, or tips. Errors are content that make the document difficult or impossible to read and understand for people with disabilities. Warnings indicate content that, in most cases, makes the document difficult to understand. Tips refer to content that could be presented in a different way to improve the user experience. In essence, the Accessibility Checker is an essential tool in your accessibility toolkit. It guides you, helps you understand potential issues, and provides solutions to make your content more accessible. Understanding the rules of the Accessibility Checker is the first step to creating accessible content. So let's continue our journey towards a more inclusive digital world. The Accessibility Checker verifies your file against a set of rules that identify potential issues for people with disabilities. These rules are not just arbitrary guidelines. They are designed based on the understanding that accessibility is a lived experience, affecting whether individuals can use services or take part in online activities. The Accessibility Checker provides a comprehensive and practical approach to identify and address potential issues. The issues identified by the Accessibility Checker fall into three categories: errors, warnings, and tips. Let's define what each category means. Errors are situations where content makes the document difficult or impossible to read and understand for people with disabilities. An example of an error would be a missing alternative text for images. Without this text, screen readers cannot describe what the image is about, leaving visually impaired users at a loss. Warnings are areas where content, in most but not all cases, makes the document difficult to understand for people with disabilities. For instance, if you have an image with a low contrast ratio, it might be hard for people with visual impairments to distinguish it. Tips are suggestions for areas where content that people with disabilities can understand, but that could be presented in a different way to improve the user's experience. This could be something as simple as suggesting a clearer, more descriptive hyperlink text rather than just click here. By categorizing issues into errors, warnings, and tips, the Accessibility Checker gives you a clear understanding of the severity of each issue. This helps prioritize your efforts in making your document more accessible. Moreover, it's essential to remember that while the Accessibility Checker is an excellent tool, it's not foolproof. It may not catch all types of accessibility issues, therefore, it's crucial to always review your work visually to find issues hiding from the accessibility checker. By understanding these categories, you can better address the issues identified by the accessibility checker. Making your digital content accessible is not just about compliance, but about inclusivity, ensuring everyone can participate in the digital world. In addition to errors, warnings, and tips, there's another category called intelligent services. Let's dive into what intelligent services are and how they help in making content accessible. In the realm of Microsoft 365's accessibility checker, intelligent services are essentially tools powered by artificial intelligence. They work behind the scenes to automatically enhance the accessibility of your content. Imagine a diligent assistant, tirelessly scanning your document, identifying potential accessibility issues, and offering solutions. That's what intelligent services do. They can, for instance, automatically generate alt text for images, making them more accessible for visually impaired users. They can also provide valuable suggestions to improve the readability of your content, such as recommending simpler language or identifying unclear abbreviations. But it's not just about making content accessible. Intelligent services also focus on enhancing the user experience. They can suggest ways to present your content that could be more engaging or easier to understand. For example, they might suggest turning a complex table into a more digestible chart. Now, while intelligent services are indeed smart, they're not infallible. They're tools designed to assist, not replace, human judgment. That's why it's crucial to review their suggestions for accuracy and context. For instance, an AI might generate alt text for an image, but it might not fully capture the image's relevance to your content. Or it might suggest simplifying language that, in context, needs to be complex. So think of intelligent services as a helpful colleague, offering suggestions to make your content more accessible. They can provide a valuable boost to your efforts, saving you time, and helping you to ensure that your content is as inclusive as possible. But remember, they're just that, a colleague. They don't have the final say. You do. Use their suggestions as a starting point, but always review and adjust as needed. After all, you know your content best. Intelligent services can provide a valuable boost to accessibility, but always remember to review their suggestions. Let's summarize what we have learned about the accessibility checker. This free tool, available across multiple Microsoft 365 platforms, is designed to help ensure our files are accessible. It identifies potential issues that might be problematic for individuals with disabilities, providing explanations and suggestions for each one. The accessibility checker operates on a set of rules, classifying each identified issue as an error, warning, or tip based on its severity. Errors are those making content difficult or impossible to comprehend, while warnings suggest potential comprehension challenges. Tips, on the other hand, point out content that could be presented differently for a better user experience. Remember, though, that the accessibility checker might not catch all accessibility issues. A manual, visual review of your work is always necessary to find any hidden problems. With the power of the accessibility checker and your attention to detail, we can make our digital world accessible to everyone. Thank you for watching.